Hi. So let's speak about content types for new consultants, coaches, or even agency owners, right? For those of you who are just getting started and have less than 1,000 followers, you might be wondering should you post on social media? How should you use social media to your advantage, right? And your purpose probably is to land clients, right? But I should note that, or you should note that when it comes to client acquisition, as a startup coach or consultant or agency owner, you shouldn't focus or really put content creation as part of your client acquisition yet, because it is so unreliable, it is so slow that it cannot be used as a client acquisition strategy within your client acquisition strategy, right? Unless you have some kind of a big following, which I probably you do not have. So that is another strategy. You should be like for client acquisition, your best bet is through outreach, right? An outbound outreach, which means you go out there and find your ideal client and put yourself in front of them. So cold emails, cold calls, messaging on social platforms, or just the best, which is using ads, right? Now, when it comes to content creation, to go back to our topic, there's a kind of a true perspective that I usually use for myself and my clients. All right, let's start with the first one, which is a kind of a formula, right? And the formula goes like this. In order for you to find the content type that you should be creating on your social media, you have two things, right? So first is the information about your audience research, plus the purpose of your content purpose equals content type. So you should be asking yourself, what kind of information do I hold about my audience? Usually this is where you will pick up whatever you have information about your customer avatar. Ideally, you have already done some research to have an idea of who is your target client, all right? You have some features about them, problems, outcomes, dreams, false beliefs, and you should use that information. Now you should ask yourself a question is, what is the purpose of my content, all right? And although I recommend to not rely on social media as a startup coach to land your first clients with content creation only. That is basically your main purpose, right? Which is growing on social media and having people find out your content and reaching out to you. So you could be having great results if you combine ads. You make content and then you promote that content and get people to your profile so they can find out your profile, which works for some people, right? It's like a brand awareness campaign where just have a reel and you promote that reel. And if it has good potential, it's going to get you followers. All right. I've done it before, but for other industries, but it works. But let's say you don't want to do that. All right. You just want to promote the offer, clearly have an ad for the offer. You want to use social media for content, just like, growing your audience. So basically you got to get back to your purpose, right? And, so that is like the first perspective, right? You have your audience research plus content purpose equals content types, right? Now, the content type is usually like what is the perspective, what is the style that you should be creating content with. And usually there are maybe like 3 to 4 types, right? But for you, I'm going to recommend like 2 to 3 types that you should be focusing on. The first type is going to be your making most of what you should be creating in terms of content, which is value posts, all right? Any kind of content that provides value, you should be adding that to your content strategy, right? So that's where you speak about problems, you speak about solutions, you educate your ideal client about the problem and offer solutions. All right. So this is an opportunity for you to have like a limited content IDs. All right. We're not speaking about content IDs. We're speaking about post types. All right. Content types. So content IDs, basically you plug a little bit of information to ChatGPT and it can give you a lot of perspectives around that problem content topic, right? And the second type of content is, so we have value posts, right, or value content. We have engagement content. So this is a little bit tricky because you might find yourself going a little bit outside of what you usually speak of. This is just for the purpose of exploring virality potential, right? So if there is something that is viral currently that you could take advantage of and, use it in a way to integrate with what you do already, with the kind of topics that you cover in your page already, you could use that as well. These can be sounds, these can be these trends or filters or whatever, is going on social media right now. We cannot really predict this stuff. But whatever viral thing is going on, you can use this in your post types, right? And the third type that I usually also recommend is results posts. So results post is where you share an epiphany either about yourself or you share a feedback from a client, right? So you can make it in a way that in the same style of when you share value posts, so you educate the prospect about a problem, but here you emphasize on your support to that client when finding out the solution or when changing their lives, right? So basically these three types of posts types that I actually recommend to my clients and I do myself. But, there is the fourth one, which is promo post. I don't recommend you do promo posts where basically you promote your offer directly. It's like a straight up sales post. All right. I don't recommend you do that because the results from those at this point, it's not going to make sense. All right. You have just like a few followers and probably no one is going to take action. And with the algorithm, now not a lot of people are going to be seeing your posts. So you should be focusing on these, the other three type of posts, right? The value posts, engagement posts, and results posts, right? So this is about the first perspective. Now let's see the other perspective, right? Which is going to be more focused on the content IDs, all right? Because we've seen content types. Those content types already can also be used for this perspective as well, right? So this perspective is to use whatever resource you have already created for your offer. So ideally, as a startup coach or consultant or agency owner, you want to sell more of your high ticket offer, right? That is what I recommend always because it gives you cash flow. It gives you, faster results basically to your business. So, and it has a high ticket one. So if you're a coach, it's going to be private coaching. If you're a consultant, it's going to be also, the highest consulting offer. If you're an agency owner, it's going to be whatever high ticket offer you have, like a done for you service or something like that. So you have already you should have already a system or basically let's call it just a little sales page, right? A sales page where you have made a sales letter or sales copy, right? Your copywriting. So in your copywriting, obviously you should already tackle a lot of different angles about the life of your ideal clients, right? Their problems, top prominent problems, most desirable outcomes they want, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, and most false beliefs they have about the problem, but also about the solution. And that is basically your content or the content topics that you should be creating for your social media, right? So like a very easy and very straight up way on how to find ideas for your content. So what you should do is, if you have that copywriting for for your program, just use that to create content types, to create content ideas, right? So this is what I do with my clients. So we pick the sales page, we'll break it down into different sections, right? And the problems, the false beliefs, the ideal outcomes, and the solution, right? And we plug that into ChatGPT. I used to do this on my own, but now we have AI, so it makes things a lot faster. We plug that into ChatGPT, and then we ask ChatGPT to give us content ideas. We give us we give it a little bit of examples as well about content ideas that we can create, like one or two, and then it can, from that information, it can give us unlimited content ideas that we should be creating for our social media. Now, your question is probably, what is the potential of my content to actually attract my ideal customer? You would be thinking about virality, about trends, about SEO, and it all depends on your platform, all right? But I would say this, I wouldn't really think a lot about trends, or SEO could be promoted, but not really put it as focus of my content, because if you're the problem that you're trying to solve is kind of a big issue for the customer, they will find you. All right. Now you could be optimizing your content for searches and so that you can appear on top of results and stuff like that on Instagram or whatever platform. Each platform has its own specifics. You can get people to do that for you. But when it comes to content ideas, I wouldn't really focus on following the trend, because you want people who have the problem that you're solving to find you, all right? And it doesn't really matter about the trend, all right? The trend is mostly about getting exposure. You can include that into, as I said, with engagement posts. But when it comes to majority of your content, you should always focus on the specifics of your audience and create content around those, right? So, that's a little bit all I have about, or what I want to share today about the content types and the content IDs for new coaches, consultants, or agency owners. So if you have any questions about anything that I've just shared with you, leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. Peace.